I've been an entrepreneur all my life. Heard the old story, get a good education, get a good job, yada, yada, yada. At that point in time, I made a decision that I was never, ever going to let anybody have that much power over my future again.
How did you evolve that into business and channel that?
So many people say, chase your passion. Passions don't pay bills. Trust me. It used to be really easy to get real estate loans. It's not that easy anymore. Have associations around you that can help keep you up. You can't be up all the time.
Welcome back. My name is Daniel, CEO and founder of Reekolect, and I'm here today at the Rice Estate at Turner Hill. And I have a very special guest with us here today, Jim Blakemore. Jim, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining us here.
I'm wonderful and getting better. Dan or Daniel?
Yeah, Dan is good. Daniel, as long as it's Dan or Daniel, we're good.
Okay. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to join you. I'm looking forward to having a little chat here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So again, Jim, what we do here at the Digital Legacy Podcast, we like to dive into all different types of topics around business and so on. But I think the best place to start off would be, give us a little bit of your history. Where did it all start with your career?
I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, went to college, heard the old story, get a good education, get a good job, yada, yada, yada. I went to, while I was in college, I went to work for a television station. And I was, one day I was called into the manager's office and I was terminated. And whether I deserved it or not is up for debate, but I loved that job. I really, really loved what I was doing. Just exciting, and part of the media, yada, 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 all that stuff. And at that point in time, I made a decision that I was never, ever going to let anybody have that much power over my future again. And ever since then, I've been an entrepreneur. Haven't gotten a W-2 from any company that I wasn't either a founder or a part of the senior management of. So since then, I grew up in the oil and gas and ranching businesses. Was in direct sales. I've been in. I bought a radio station. I had a photography studio. Done all sorts of different things. Ran a mining company for 20 years.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, and master of none. I can assure you of that. So now I exited my family company, and I'm starting a real estate investment fund for professionals who are looking for a passive income stream.
Absolutely. Well, they're very impressive. So, Jim, let's unpack that a little bit. Our audience consists of entrepreneurs, business owners, AI enthusiasts, and in common, we all have business, right? Now, take me back when you got fired from that particular job and occupation that you had at the radio station, you mentioned, right?
TV station.
TV station.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Absolutely. The TV station. So many different entrepreneurs have an origin story like that they got fired by their job, by a job that they love doing, and then it just triggered some sort of fire and passion in them. Did you experience something similar with that? Like, can you unpack that a little bit? What did you feel, and how did you evolve that into business and channel that?
Well, I studied communications in college and was a photographer and got my degree in sound engineering and that sort of thing. It was more because I liked equipment. I like gadgets. I'm a gadget guy. So that was kind of how I got into the communications field. I got fired. Like I said, I made up my mind at that point in time I was never going to ever let somebody have that much power over my life. Now I'm not going to say I haven't dropped the ball a few times in some of my businesses, but that was my doing. If I could do it, I could do it for myself, but nobody else could tell me yes or no. And I don't know where it came from, but I got out of college and was presented with the opportunity to buy a local radio station. And I did. And it was a fascinating experience. I got a lot of business experience, read tax deductions, read failure. But I ran the station for 4 years, and I never looked back. It was always, I was going to have to do something for myself, with myself. We had a family business and the oil and gas business, but I was always looking for something else. Even though I had a very comfortable life and lifestyle in the family business, I got into real estate rental properties, got into direct sales, bought some land and worked on a real estate development, putting a real estate development together. We never got it developed, but I didn't know that, another one of those things. There's forces that are aligned against you that you may never know. And I didn't find out till later that the city was never going to let me do that project. no matter what. I was never going to come out of the ground.
But you went for it.
But my philosophy, one of my guiding lights is Winston Churchill's quote, never give in, never give in, never, never, never give in. And sometimes I've probably never given in too much. Probably should have cut that one off a long time before we put it to bed. But again, I learned a lot, got a lot of tax deductions from it, and but I've been in the real estate, in some sort of the real estate business ever since.
Wow, very powerful, very powerful. Couple questions there I want to ask you. First of all, what would your advice be to young entrepreneurs and business owners that are scared to take that leap of faith? Because being an entrepreneur, it's a lifestyle, right? It's never the sense of security and the sense of stability. You've learned very early in the stages of being an entrepreneur to eliminate that because it's not real. Stability, anything can happen. A business can close, but even people that have a 9-to-5, they think that they're secure with their job, but if that job fires you, then it's all over. So what would be your recommendation to starting off entrepreneurs that are nervous to make that leap of faith?
Wow, that's a great question, Daniel. My first advice would be to make sure you know what it is. Make sure you're comfortable in the endeavor. So many people say, go chase your passion.
Right.
Passions don't pay bills. Trust me. Yes, find something that you enjoy. Find something that challenges you. Find something that you feel you can make a difference in and that you can bring something to, some sort of an endeavor. One of my endeavors, and I guess let me say this, one of the most important things you can do is make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. One of my companies was, we took shipping containers and we converted them into workforce housing for the oil field. And it made great sense to me. Take these steel boxes, cut them up, put miniature houses in them, and rent them out. The unseen problem that I wasn't aware of, shipping containers weigh 12,000 pounds. They are heavy. You have to have very specialized equipment to move them around. You can't just tie them to the back of a pickup truck and haul them somewhere. I still have some that I can't get rid of because we just can't get them off the land. That was the unseen obstacle. That was the piece of information that I didn't have. Everybody thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a great idea. Everybody was going, oh, wow, that's cool. And then until I found out that you got to move these things around, and it's tough.
I see that. That's great advice to always not only look into your passion, but also look into any unforeseen challenges or obstacles, like you're mentioning, that particular business that you're going to inherit. That's great advice in there. Absolutely. And Jim, let me ask you, for the young business owners and entrepreneurs that want to dive into real estate, what advice would you give to them about purchasing your first property? How can they go about it, or at least start coming up with the idea, especially when it comes to finances as well?
That's a tough one because it used to be really easy to get real estate loans. It's not that easy anymore. You've got to have, the first thing I would do is make sure, again, you know about the business. Maybe partner with somebody. A lot of people get into the business, fixing and flipping. And, they'll get a partner, they'll get a financial partner. Financial partner who's been in the real estate business is a really, really good place to start. If they've been in the business for a minute, they can give you the guidance that one needs. Study the business. There's a lot of great resources out there that will educate you on how to get into the business, what areas of business to start. It's such a wide business. There's fix and flips. There's syndications in getting into apartment complexes. There's an area that I'm working in right now is mobile home parks and RV parks and self-storage. There's so many different areas of real estate, but the neophyte real estate entrepreneur, probably the best way to get in it is save up enough money to put a down payment on a house and on a rental property, and have a rental property. Start your business as a rental property owner. And my advice is, especially if you've got a W-2, don't get into the real estate business expecting that it's going to change your lifestyle immediately. Live like you live on your W-2 and buy your first house and then leverage that into another one and another one and another one. I know so many people that have done that. That friend of mine out in California, I don't know, he's got over 100 rental houses now. He started young and they just kept rolling them and rolling them and rolling them. He's worth a ton of money.
There you go. So consistency as well, right? You have to remain consistent.
And run it like a business. Make sure you run it like a business. Don't don't take the rental money and buy yourself a boat or something like that. The way so many people do.
Reinvest.
Yeah.
Jim, last question, but before we wrap up here, what would you recommend in the sense of to keep that high level of energy? Because I see the vigor in you. I see the mindset before the camera turned on. You're like, listen, I can connect to here and there. Like that just shows you're sharp. You got the energy. What would you recommend to the young entrepreneurs that want to have something similar to that?
I keep the fire burning. I mean, I'm kind of a unique person. My energy level, I haven't found anything I don't like. I love the challenge. I love people. This is like one of 5 masterminds that I'm a member of. And I associate with great people. I think probably one of the most important things you can do is have associations around you that can help keep you up. You can't be up all the time. Everybody's going to have, they're going to suffer a defeat. They're going to suffer a setback. And having, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a partner, whatever. Have people around you that can help you through those rough spots. And I read. I mean, I'm a voracious reader. My level of personal development is astounding. I believe in, one of my core beliefs is personal development. So I'm always involved in reading, studying, something like those sort of things that help me keep my act sharp.
Of course.
And
development, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Phenomenal. All right. Well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you have here James. James, thank you so much for taking the time to be here on the Digital Legacy Podcast. If someone's interested in knowing more about your career or your work, where can they see you?
My website is jamesblakemore.com. I'm James at jamesblakemore.com. And if you want to see what we're doing with the real estate fund of funds, that website is ironmountaincapitalgroup.com.
Absolutely. And we'll put that in the description. James, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Forward to the podcast. All right. Until next time, thank you very much for joining us.